RTHK.com.au/royal.tv.
Sorry. Look, I'm due for some rec leave. Take it out of that.
Yeah, I will. But what I won't do, Duncan, is tell you again, leave Claire's mess to the drug squad. Is that what got complicated yesterday?
Jarvis and one of his DSs came around to Claire's place to brief her about the operation. I couldn't just leave her there to deal with all of that by herself.
All right. You've got Claire through this far. Good. Now you're here, do your job unless you want another flag on your file. Yeah.
Sorry, the report on the urns just came through. One of them contained canine remains as well as human. I checked with missing persons. A man named Leon Bernstein disappeared 3 months ago, walking his wife's dog.
You called the police at 4 o'clock in the morning, Mrs. Bernstein.
5 hours after your husband didn't come home from walking the dog.
If I could walk the dog, I'd walk the dog. You should see my bone scans. So he doesn't come back. I'm lying there awake all night. Where is she?
She.
Cindy, my Maltese terrier.
So you called the police because you were worried about your dog?
She's a Maltese. Clever, almost human.
What about your husband?
Oh, Leon, he's too clever for his own good.
No, I mean, you weren't worried about your husband?
Of course I was worried about him.
What do you think happened to your husband, Mrs. Bernstein? I mean, could he be living somewhere else, or...?
Dead. Maybe. Maybe he just took her to spite me. Whatever the case, I'm glad he's gone.
Any particular reason for that?
When I was young, my parents always said to me, Rebecca, they said to me, if you are guilty, you must face the music. When Leon couldn't do that, I lost all respect for him.
In what way was he guilty, Mrs. Bernstein?
Look in your files, or whatever you call them. Years ago, late one night, a young couple, Leon knocks them down while driving home drunk. So no big surprise, Leon was always driving home drunk.
Hit and run.
Exactly. Everyone knew he was responsible, but he was a lawyer. He knew how to manipulate the system. He didn't even go to prison.
Guess what? The Dunning's working again.
Getting up to speed on things, just give me a couple of minutes.
The hit and run that Leon Bernstein was involved in 4 years ago, general consensus was a guilty man walked.
Who were the victims?
James and Wendy Bradwell. She died at the scene, but he survived with severe injuries.
Bradwell. I guess we should speak to him. See if he's into vigilance too.
Sit. Otherwise I get a stiff neck. So Leon Bernstein is dead. Can't say I'm upset.
Well, that's understandable, Mr. Bradwell. That's why we need to know where you were on July the 18th.
Why?
It's when Leon Bernstein disappeared.
And you think I'm responsible?
Hot Wheels. Because of the chair, yeah?
Obviously. Yeah, please, don't touch.
Sorry.
Look, I don't know how I can help you. It was a hit-and-run accident. My wife was luckier than I was. She was killed. End of story.
You ever heard of an organisation called Vigilance, Mr. Bradwell?
Vigilance? No, I can't say I have.
When was the last time you saw Leon Bernstein?
In the courtroom when he won the case. Smug beyond belief. I wanted to kill him. But I didn't.
This came through from missing person. Might be something, might be nothing. 2 nights ago, a character by the name of Malcolm Street disappeared.
And what's that got to do with us?
Well, interestingly enough, a few years back, Street and a mate named Gary Kovacevic were arrested for rape. Charges were dismissed in court unproved. Apparently it was their word against the victims, one Michelle Johnson.
Michelle Johnson, the girl from Vigilance.
They never went to prison. Just like Leon Bernstein never did time for his hit and run on James Bradwell and his wife.
OK, but the mix of canine ashes makes it pretty clear that Dag Zygmundsson killed Leon Bernstein. Now, Zygmundsson's on a slab in the morgue. He can't be responsible for this Malcolm Street character.
Well, maybe Zygmundsson had a partner who is still out there.
I haven't seen Malcolm Street in yonks. After what happened, I couldn't get away fast enough.
So the rape was all Malcolm, wasn't? You were just an innocent bystander?
Yes, Malcolm's a lunatic. If he lives till he's 30, I'll be surprised. And the charges were dismissed. There was There was no rape.
Well, we think there was. We also think the disappearance of your mate has something to do with it.
Have you had anyone following you around lately? Any sense that maybe you're being watched?
What, do you mean like I'm being stalked or something?
Something like that.
Why would anyone want to give me trouble? That court case was years ago. We were kids. And it wasn't me, it was him. I stay away from people like Malcolm now.
Freeman.
I've turned my life around, haven't I?
Is that right? Okay. Bet Michelle Johnson would love to be able to do that too.
Bye.
Let's go.
2 nights ago, I was working. Why?
Can anyone verify that?
No, we can't afford that many staff. I was on my own. Why?
Do you know a James Bradwell?
I don't think so.
Could he be a member of your organisation?
I can look it up for you.
Thanks. What about the name Malcolm Street?
Yes, I know that name. He raped me. Him and Gary Kovacevic. Not that anyone believed me. In court, I was the one treated like a criminal. I must have led them on, the uncovered meat theory.
Street has disappeared. We have reason to believe he may have been murdered.
You people are unbelievable. It took me nearly 18 months to even get a court hearing on my rape. And 2 days after that slime disappears, you're on the case? Unbloody believable. Why are the criminals always being looked out for? What about the victims?
Miss Johnson,
If you're telling me that Malcolm Street is dead, then I will be honest with you, I could not be more delighted. He was an animal. They both were. And if you're asking me if I killed him, I didn't, but I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, I wish I had. I wish I had.
This Sigmundson investigation, has it got legs, or are we better putting our resources into something else?
Given that our main suspect's already dead, Sarge, I don't see where's left to go with him.
What about Malcolm Street's disappearance?
Takes us nowhere. Malcolm Street's been in trouble since he could crawl. Lots of juvie offences. Then after the rape, he picked up pace, assault, possession with intent. He's currently out on bail. Firearms charges. He's due in court next week.
So what, do you think he's absconded?
It's a big possibility, considering his form. He's looking at prison time.
Okay. So we've identified the dog walker. What about Sigmundson's other 5 urns? Who are they?
Can't see how we're ever going to find that out, Sarge.
Write up what we've got. I will show it to the superintendent and she can make the final call. Duncan, you're with me. Have you heard from Superintendent Jarvis?
Got a call earlier. The operation kicks off tomorrow. Sabor gets back into the country mid-morning.
What about Claire? How's she holding up?
She'll do what she has to.
You're gonna need some personal time.
I'm taking Claire into the drug squad. First thing.
Take all the time you need, but leave the operation to them.
Yes, Sarge.
Do the others know about this?
No.
Maybe you should tell them. You might find it helps.